Yeah. Run It Back Nation, what is good? It is your boy, DJ Eastwood. This is Run It Back Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros. Don't forget to join the Discord if you would like to jump into the conversation here. I take live calls on the Discord, so click the link that's in the description. If you want to jump in the Discord. The Sixers, a 12:30 game on a Saturday. Weird timing, especially for me. For those of you that know my personal life a little bit, I am a weekend warrior, and I was up until 4 in the morning last night, so even 12:30 was pretty early for me. I was drinking coffee most of the game. I'm actually still drinking coffee right now. But it was a good one, man. This episode of Run It Back Philly is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Use the promo code NOINTRO for 20% off and free shipping. Get the Lawnmower 4.0, the best razor you'll ever use. Quiet. Skin-safe technology. You can handle all of the most sensitive areas of your body with this thing with no fear. I've never used anything like it in my life. Lawnmower 4.0, Manscaped.com. Use the promo code NOINTRO. Thank you, Manscaped. And just as an announcement, I want to let you guys know, when I was plugging Manscaped for the past month, that was a trial run. They hit me up. They said, we loved what you did. We would like to offer you a paid sponsorship. So we landed the first paid sponsorship on the Run It Back Philly YouTube channel. I want to thank you all for tuning in, sharing the videos, telling your friends about the channel, everything that's gotten us this far to this point. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring the channel. Let's get into the game, man. The Sixers take care of the Charlotte Hornets, 144-114. A blowout. And the blowout happened in the third quarter. It was nice to see the Sixers actually put away a lesser opponent. Actually put them away, especially after losing to the damn Detroit Pistons. Like, good Lord, are you guys serious? So it was nice to have a bounce-back game where we actually took a lesser opponent. We had a lead. We did not blow said lead. And we expanded on the lead. And we put the game away to the point where our starters, namely Joel Embiid and James Harden, did not have to play in the fourth quarter. That's what we've been asking this team to do for like most of this season. Like, we understand it's going to be tough matching up with teams like Brooklyn, like Milwaukee, like Boston, all the best teams in the East in the playoffs when you think about our depth and things. But we know we have talent, and we know we shouldn't be messing around with these type of teams, especially towards the end of the season like this. So it was nice to see us actually put a team away relatively effortlessly and finish it off and let our starters rest the fourth quarter and be able to see some of the young guys actually get on the floor in a Doc Rivers-led team in the fourth quarter. I'm going to talk about all that stuff soon. McNugget says, thank God we didn't see Paul Millsap. Exactly. It's DeAndre Jordan played all of the backup center minutes in this game, and he actually played probably the best we've seen DeAndre Jordan play backup center minutes during his tenure with the 76ers. So, I brought out the Process Complete t-shirt. I brought it back out. Yes, they are still available. Of course, the sales fell off a little bit, when the Sixers started to struggle. James Harden started looking like a shell of himself, and everybody started saying the process isn't complete, the t-shirt's stupid. But I'm bringing it back because I believe again. One game later, I'm a believer again. After the Detroit game, I was not a believer at all, and now I'm a believer again. No, I'm joking. I don't know if I believe that this is the year, but I'm just happy to see what the Sixers did in this game compared to last game. So that's why I brought the shirt back. But what I want to say is if DeAndre Jordan could give you that level of production in the playoffs, you never know. Again, I just think this team is such a big question mark because you know what Joel Embiid's going to give you. You kind of know what James Harden's going to give you as far as veteran facilitator, elite point guard play, pick and roll play, easily gives you 12, 13, 14, 15 assists in a game. Basketball IQ, being able to run the half court. You don't actually know if you're going to get the lethal scoring version of James Harden that he was earlier on in his career, but you at least know from a veteran point guard facilitator standpoint what you're going to get out of him. The biggest question mark for this team has and always will be whether or not the bench can actually give you some points, whether or not the role players, Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, Shake Milton coming off the bench, the backup center position. So that's the big question mark every single game, and it's the most inconsistent thing I've probably ever seen watching a basketball game, when you go from looking like you did against the Detroit Pistons to looking like you did against the Charlotte Hornets. So who knows, man? Like, you know, if you can get this level of production from the bench and the role players, you can put up a fight against a lot of good teams deep into the playoffs. But if you get what they looked like against Detroit, giving you 5 entire points off the bench and that level of production, you're not going to go very far. So against the Hornets, we get 10, 16, 18, 26, 36, 40, 49 points off of the bench. I know all of those points came, or most of those points from, all of those points from Isaiah Joe, Paul Reed came in garbage time. So even if you delete those 11 points, Furkan's also, delete those 15 points, you still got, a decent 20, 34 points off the bench in like actual competitive gameplay. So that's a big step up from what we saw against Detroit and what we've seen most of this season. So, that the bench and the role players are going to be my main takeaway from the game. DeAndre Jordan's backup center minutes. Matisse Thybulle, I can't believe he only had 3 steals in the box score. I feel like this dude had 30 steals. Matisse Thybulle was absolutely everywhere. He clearly follows my Twitter and saw all of the junk I was talking about him, how he was basically a non-factor last game in 29 minutes. So he decided to make some threes today from the corner, back-to-back corner threes in the third quarter, I believe, when we really started to run away with it. One of them was on a Tobias Harris passed up wide-open three, which was odd, but he passed it to Tyrese Maxey, who did a little nice baseline drive, kicked it over to Thybulle for a corner three. So Thybulle gives you 5 for 7 from the field, 2 for 4 from three-point range, 3 steals, which felt like 30 steals. He was just all over the place. There was one sequence from Matisse Thybulle that was just out of control. They really started to run away from this game. I guess I saw a comment in this thread right before I came on live that Thybulle was the X factor in this game. And really, when we really started to put this away in the third quarter, we were up 10 or whatever, and then we went on that 12-0 run or 15-0 run or whatever it was that put us up 20+. I feel like Matisse Thybulle was actually the major factor in that, because the Hornets had 5-6 turnovers in a row. Matisse was just everywhere, and the one sequence, he scores on I forget, fast break dunk or something, or maybe one of those threes that he hits, and then he steals the inbound and saves it. Harden catches the ball at half court, and he misses a 3 from the corner, gets his own rebound, and throws it behind his back off of Miles Bridges out of bounds. The guy it felt like he had 5 saved possessions in a matter of 20 seconds. So Matisse Thybulle, being the NFL player that he is, being the freakish athlete that he is, was all over the place in this game. And then for him to be able to hit 2 corner threes, and a couple of fast break dunks off of steals and other things like that, 12 points and 3 steals from Matisse Thybulle, that was huge. So that's a bright spot for Matisse Thybulle. I don't know if he can. Again, I say that all the time, but I don't know if he could be consistent with that level of offensive production. But to the level where he should be an NBA starter, I don't know. The question's still out on that. But if he can be the defender that he is and give you this decent level of offensive production, maybe it's not that bad having him in the starting lineup. I don't want to overreact to playing the Hornets. We'll really have to see in the playoffs when we start to play good teams what Matisse Thybulle looks like. But he was definitely a major part of that third quarter run. Danny Green hitting a couple threes. George Niang, 4 for 5, 2 for 3 from three-point range, 10 points off the bench. Somebody said before I came on here also that, so when the bench scores, we win. And basically, yes. It's a very simple formula because, like I said, we know what we're getting from the starting lineup. Aside from Matisse Thybulle, we never really know what we're getting from him. But, yeah, it's depth. All of the reasons people say we have no shot to go deep into the playoffs or no shot to go deep into the I just realized I have the Detroit Pistons score on the screen. A lot of the reason people say we have no chance going deep into the playoffs or getting to the NBA Finals or what have you is because of our inconsistency from the bench and just flat-out lack of depth and Doc Rivers' weird, insane rotations and decisions that he makes. So, we didn't see Paul Millsap in this game, which was a good thing. It's just funny that, Mason Plumlee is the other team's center, and you say, okay, Paul Millsap, you're going to sit this game. But when it's Giannis Antetokounmpo, one of the most dominant players in the history of the game, an MVP-level player every single season in this era, an absolutely unstoppable force to 99.9% of human beings on the planet, this dude said, yeah, I'm going to go with Paul Millsap. That's just funny to me that he does that against Giannis, and then, we play against Miles Bridges and Mason Plumlee, and he says, all right, no Paul Millsap. But DeAndre Jordan had a pretty good game, and I was saying, if Paul Reed doesn't get any minutes in this game, Doc hates him on a personal level. Paul Reed got in the game. It was in garbage time. It was when the game was already over. I still would like to see Doc Rivers try to implement some of these guys during actual game action, but there's no point in us continuing to say it over and over and over because it's not going to happen. It's just Doc Rivers. It's what he's going to do. It's not going to happen. But garbage time, game's over. Paul Reed finally gets in the game, and guess what? He gets an offensive rebound. He gets a steal and a dunk in 30 seconds of play. Isaiah Joe against the Hornets scrubs bench G League team, whatever, the end of the game was 2 for 2 from three-point range. One of them deep, one of them 30-plus feet. Isaiah Joe sporting a new hairstyle, new energy, finally gets in a game because we were up by 500 points, and he hits some threes. He had some ball handling situations. He had a little step back. He missed the mid-range, but I've just always thought ever since he was drafted that Isaiah Joe has a three-level game that the Sixers, especially Doc Rivers, just does not utilize at all. The sad part about watching these young guys do what they did in garbage time is that, my takeaway is this. We say that we have no depth. Get that, Detroit. I apologize so much for the Detroit score that's on there. My bad. I hope you guys are okay in the chat now that I got rid of that. Wow. My main takeaway is that, we say we don't have any depth. We say our bench is terrible. We say our roster is not strong enough. We look at other teams and we say, why do they, you know what I mean? This is what it comes to. Well, you look at other teams, you say, why do they have young guys that produce? Why do they have young guys that look like they have potential and can at least make something happen in minimal minutes in an NBA game? Why do other teams find needles in the haystacks, out of the G League or out of the undrafted or out of wherever? Eventually you have to say it's upper management and it's coaching. Eventually you have to say that. There's no other way. There's no other reason for this team's depth and bench production to look like it's looked for years. You went from Brett Brown to Doc Rivers. Two guys that can't develop any players. And I just can't figure it out, but It all comes down to coaching for me. And then when you see these guys get on the floor, yes, against the Charlotte Hornets third stringers, but I feel like if we had a coaching staff or a head coach in particular who could instill confidence in young players and bring the best out of them and get these young players to do what they just did in the fourth quarter of this game in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes of an actual NBA game, these players would look a lot better than they actually look in the grand scheme of things, and we would be finding nice young players off of the bench deep from the G League team, wherever else, if we had a coach that could instill confidence and bring the best out of them. We have a coach who absolutely refuses to give them a single minute, and even back to when Tyrese Maxey started getting minutes at the point guard position when Fraud Simmons quit on us, Doc Rivers wasn't even instilling confidence in him because he was telling him to pass the ball and be a facilitator, and he was saying to him, every shot that you take, it's like Rajon Rondo, every shot that you take is a shot that Embiid could have, that Tobias could have, that it's the opposite of what you should be doing with young guys. And Doc Rivers, the writing's on the wall, the cat's out of the bag. It's clear as day. The guy is terrible for young players. He's a terrible development coach, and you can read stories of other players that have played for him. Terrence Mann in LA, I bring up all the time, but you're not going to see any young players develop under Doc Rivers. That's where I'm at with that. And it's just funny that, you get a little bit of production from him in the fourth quarter of this game because the game was a blowout. And it's like, wow, imagine watching Isaiah Joe maybe come into a game for 5 minutes and get a deep three or a step back, or maybe get streaky, maybe get hot and hit 2 or 3 in a row. Like, that's what you see from better coaches. That's my opinion on it. As far as the bench, the young guys, Doc Rivers. That's my opinion on it. What else in this game? Joel Embiid, of course, was unstoppable. Like Mason Plumlee versus Joel Embiid. You know that every single time he plays Plumlee, he's gonna kick his ass. He's gonna beat him down. Plumlee can't do anything against Joel Embiid. No, and nobody else on the Hornets can do anything against him. He had 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists at halftime. Finished the game with 29, 16, and 6 on 75% from the field in 31 minutes. Unstoppable, and he got that little streakiness where he gets the ball in the corner on the wing, shot clock running down. Not really the situation you would ever want 99.9% of NBA centers to be in, but my NBA center, my MVP level NBA center, can hit a step back 3 in Mason Plumlee's face with the shot clock running down. What can't the guy do? He's doing Euro step up and under reverse finishes around the rim, getting hacked on both wrists and still finishing jump shots for an and one. I mean, the guy's crazy good. Crazy good. It's almost to the point where I come up and do these breakdowns and don't even talk about Joel Embiid because his 30 points is a given. It's like he does it he does do it every single night. He averages 30 points a game. He does it every single night. It's just expected. And a lot of times I think I don't even really dive into how amazing it is because I see it every single game. But, it's Joel Embiid, man. And Mason Plumlee was cooked. And what was it, a couple of days ago? Joel Embiid passed Michael Jordan for the most points per minute in NBA history. The most points per minute in NBA history. He's amazing. Let's just grasp and cherish Joel Embiid for the last 6 games this regular season, and then see what we can get in the playoffs. I wouldn't be shocked I wouldn't be mad if what is there, 6 games left? Are the spots in the playoffs like solidified? Like at this point, it's like I don't know. Should we even be playing these guys to try to beat the Charlotte Hornets? Should we even be So I would like to see our Embiid, Harden, and the rest of. Maybe just Embiid and Harden, and you know what? I think Tobias Harris deserves some rest too. I would like to see Embiid, Harden, and Tobias get some rest toward the end of the season before the playoffs start. That's what I would like to see. What you guys think about that? Speaking of Tobias Harris, we got probably the best version of Tobias Harris I've seen in a Sixers uniform in this game. At least playing alongside James Harden. I know he's had higher scoring games. He's definitely Samuel. That's a good point. We need more team chemistry though headed toward the playoffs. You're not wrong, man. That's the dilemma here. As you're like, should we rest our guys, or should we play them down the stretch to try? Tyler Smith at Permani Bros and Hershey is watching the show from the kitchen. Shout out to you, Tyler, man. Don't mess up any orders watching the show, bro. Take it easy, man. But yeah, that's the dilemma. Do you rest your guys or do you keep playing them so that you have, the chemistry that you want headed into the playoffs? Tobias, he's been working on the catch and shoot game. That's what he's been saying. He's been working on his catch and shoot game ever since James Harden got here because that's his role. You know what I mean? His role now has become that because Harden's going to have the ball most of the game, and Tobias has to take a back seat and just be that catch and shoot player. Now, I would still say it's pretty much guaranteed Tobias is gone this season somehow, some way, because you just can't be paying $180 million for a fourth option. But while he's still here, being a fourth option that he is, or second option, it depends what you want to say, is Tyrese Maxey the fourth, whatever, third/fourth option, he has to be a catch and shoot player. And he said he's been working on it in practice every single day in practice. He's catch and shoot with the coaching staff. And in this game in particular, it really started to show. First of all, the number that stands out is the 9 3-point attempts, because that's the main thing we always say about Tobias Harris is that he doesn't shoot enough threes to put up the 3-point shooting numbers that you need him to put up in this role that he's playing, which is, stand on the wing and wait to get a wide open 3-point shot, So 9 attempts is what you want from Tobias Harris. That's the main reason we've been saying the whole part of the season that George Niang's a better fit, because Niang will sit there and fire up 10 threes without even thinking about it. That's what you need Tobias Harris to do. When he goes 1 for 3, it would be better for you to be 3 for 9. He was 5 for 9 in this game. Great spot up shooting from Tobias Harris in this game, and his working on this every day in practice it showed in this game, and hopefully he can keep that up. Being a catch and shoot guy, just catch it, no hesitation. Again, there was one that was wide open in the third when we started to make that run that he passed up, and I was like, "What are you? Just shoot it!" But overall, great game from Tobias Harris. His 3-point shooting was there. He was getting his little mid-range turnarounds on smaller players, etc. 23 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists for Tobias Harris is always a big number because I always think he's just one of the worst passing players in the league. But great game from Tobias Harris. Speaking of catch and shoot, another thing that James Harden has actually had to try to work on, playing alongside Joel Embiid, having a team that's more of a chemistry, motion, ball sharing type of team where you're going to run the game through Joel Embiid in the center, and when the double team, triple team, when the defense collapses, he's going to kick it out and you're going to swing it. So James Harden has never had to be that guy in his career who stands on the 3-point line and has the ball swung to him and says, and catch it and say, I got to shoot it. James is so comfortable having the ball in an ISO situation where he's dribble to get his step back 3 or drive past his defender, which he's been struggling to do recently in general because he looks like a slow version of himself. But he has never had to be that catch the ball on a swing and let it fly 3-point shooter. So he's working on that also. He's still struggling with it. But I thought there were certain points in this game where you really saw James Harden make an effort to be that and succeed a little bit in doing that. And one play in particular that stands out, he caught it from a swing at the top of the key and shanked it off the front of the rim. I think Matisse got a tip, offensive rebound tip back out to Harden, and he shot the same exact shot the second time and hit it. So it will be nice to see that out of James Harden, become more of a catch and shoot guy, more of a fitting in the flow of the game versus just a ball dominant scorer. And he has to change his game a little bit. He does, especially when you start to get into your mid-30s and you lost a step. Like, let's call it what it is. I said it when we first traded for him, and people disagreed with me. I said this is obviously not the elite athletic version that was James Harden 3, 4, 5 years ago. It's just not. You're not getting that. You're not getting that Houston version of James Harden where he's going to dribble lightning quick and blow by somebody and dunk on a center and posterize somebody. He's not even close to that level of athlete right now. I don't know if he can get back. If he can get back to that this offseason and come back next season, maybe he can. Or maybe that athleticism is just gone in his, now that he's almost 33. I don't know. But, James Harden is a high enough IQ player that as his athleticism declines, I think he can do what we're watching him do here. He only had 12 points in the game, and people are going to talk about that, the box score watchers, the people that weren't really watching the game. But what he does, I think James Harden can take a step back athletically and still be a Chris Paul level of point guard. That's basically the point that I'm making here. He can, the way that they ran the pick and roll in this game from the very tip, pause, as James Harden says, when you say the word tip, for those that have seen that post-game interview. But the way that they run the pick and roll from the tip of this game, he controlled it. Everything flows out of that pick and roll. Everything. It's very simple. You're breaking the game down very simply. He goes around the screen from Joel. The defense either closes in on him and he drops the ball underneath to Joel, or the defense follows Joel and maybe Harden takes the step back three or drives. He drops it off to Joel. If the defense collapses on Joel, Joel's becoming a good enough playmaker to then make the skip pass. So when you run the game through that pick and roll and break it down that simply, there's always an open look if it's done correctly. It's either Joel Embiid in a one-on-one situation when Harden drops the ball off, or Joel gets a quick double team and can make the skip pass to Tobias open in the corner, to Danny Green open in the corner, to Tyrese Maxey open, to whoever. So I thought they really utilized the pick and roll the way that we've been screaming that they should be utilizing it. There was a ton of it in this game, and it's obvious. And it all goes back to Doc Rivers thinking he's a genius, overcomplicating everything. Just keep it simple, bro. Run. You got two elite NBA players. Run a James Harden, Joel Embiid pick and roll until they stop it. Do it every single possession until they stop it. That's what I'm saying. Spam it. Spam the pick and roll. It's simple, and that's what we saw in this game. So I was happy with that. It's really hard to stop. Joel had one where he caught a ball rolling to the rim and hit like an overhead hook pass all the way into the corner to Tobias. I don't even know how he saw him over there in the corner. So Joel Embiid's becoming able to read the floor. I mean, I always throw the word Jokic out there just as a metaphor. Obviously, Joel Embiid is not even close to the facilitator of a Nikola Jokic, but Joel is he's improved so much in his playmaking ability. The way he reads the floor for a big man is seriously impressive. And, there's a play where he's ready to hand the ball off at the top, and he's pointing at Matisse to get over in the corner. Like, he's directing traffic. I don't know, man. Joel Embiid point center out here. And if this was a closer game, he might have had his second triple-double of the season, or third maybe. I forget how many he has, but it's hard to assess. It's the Charlotte Hornets. They're not a god-awful team. They're 40-38. It's not like the Detroit Pistons, who we lost to. But it is still, the Charlotte Hornets. It's hard to be like, oh, the Sixers are back. We're winning it all. We're going here. We're going there. I can just sit here. All I can really do is sit here and point out the positives and, say that basically I hope the team can continue to build on this and look like this against better teams. But the Brooklyns, the Milwaukees, the Bostons, the Toronto Raptors, the Cleveland Cavaliers, all of those teams are a different level of defensive monster compared to the Charlotte Hornets. So it was nice to use this game to get our guys some positive vibes, some chemistry going. We'll just have to see what they continue to look like. We got a game tomorrow, right? There's like 3 back-to-backs in the last 6 games or something crazy because the NBA hates us and they hate the process. But, you know, I was happy with what I saw in a Saturday matinee. Let's go to the Discord, man. We got Shane Butler in the Discord. Shane, I hope your Discord works this time, man. Let me put you in there and see what happens. Shane Butler in the Discord. Shane in the Discord. Shane, your mic is muted. Yo, Shane. Saw you unmute your mic. I still don't have any audio from you, Shane. Everything's on my end, Shane. I'll tell you what, Shane. I'll put the phone number up there, and you can call in when you want to. Pop Foo in the Discord.
Yes, sir.
What's up, man?
We did what.
What's up?
We did what we were supposed to do.
Yeah,
that's what we were supposed to do.
Thanks.
So I'm happy with that. Props to Tobias Harris, though. He is looking so much more comfortable catching and shooting the basketball. And when we first got Harden, he looked so just out of his sorts.
Yeah, dude.
When it came to doing that. And he's just, they've been talking about how he's been putting in the work, and it's really starting to show. And I respect that, man, because he has a lot on his shoulders with that contract and the type of player he is in this city. And man, you gotta always respect Tobias Harris no matter what, regardless.
Yeah, for sure. I'm one that I love Philly fans, and I think it's funny when they boo people and things like that. But I've said from the beginning, I don't think Tobias Harris deserves any boos at all. You know what I mean? I always feel bad for him when he gets booed for having a bad game or something, because he's not a superstar, and these fans want him to be a superstar because he's paid like a superstar, and he's just not one. So yeah, his resiliency to keep his head up and keep trying to find a role with James Harden on the team, and yeah, I commend it, definitely. I respect it.
But really, without Joel Embiid, man, we would be nothing. We really would.
Facts. Yeah, absolute facts.
It would be like 5 years ago watching Michael Carter Williams and all those guys just try and play basketball.
I think you can kind of say that about any team, though. What are the Bucks without Giannis? What's Brooklyn without Kevin Durant? I don't know.
I will say, though, there was times during this game where we were slightly sloppy, like in the second where we had 4 straight turnovers and 4 straight possessions, and Harden was on the floor for some of that. That was pretty gross. But
yeah, we were up by 12, and they went on a 10-0 run. We had 4 turnovers in a row, yep.
The biggest positive for me out of this game, though, was ball movement.
Yeah.
I realized one thing we don't want is James Harden sitting there doing his between-the-leg stuff. It just bogs down the offense. When he's not doing stuff like that, when he's just making easy plays, we flow better. Maybe there's certain times, obviously, that he's going to have to break people down and try to do that. But the majority of the time, we don't need none of that stuff. And I was watching something on a replay for the Suns game where Harden was just holding the ball too long, and JoJo got kind of mad at him. And I've noticed that now he doesn't really hold the ball as much. And today was one of those things. He didn't really, drain the shot clock at all. He made good decisions, quick decisions. He turned it over a little bit, but he was just trying to make plays.
No, you're right.
Instead of, so I can't really be mad when he's trying to make plays. It's not like it was stupid turnovers. It was him trying to make plays for his teammates.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
And he only had 5 of them, which really, a player of his caliber, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he's really trying to change his game a little bit, because it works a lot better when they're all just moving the ball quickly. And when he didn't do it you didn't really see it many times in this game where he did his little 75 dribbles and try to break his defender down. He was really trying to keep the ball moving, and I think I was annoyed that Doc Rivers called him out in that press conference, because I just think you should keep things like that in the locker room, and just the way that he said that was like, really, Doc, you're going to say that in front of the media? But at the same time, he was right. And Harden maybe looked at it like, damn, I need to stop running the shot clock down. We need to keep moving the ball. So he looked like he was trying to do that in this game for sure.
I will say one thing with Doc. He might not be the smartest guy when it comes to certain things, but I've always thought of Doc as like a player's coach in a way. Like I think most players respect Doc. Like he's like a cool ass dude. You know what I mean? So stuff like that. Ben Simmons being offended, I don't think we can ever we have to look at that situation completely different from like any other player being called out by Doc Rivers, because Ben's just a weenie and
he can't handle being called out. Yeah, he quit. He got called out one time and he quit.
He have his little butt cheeks rubbed and coddled. Harden's at this point in career, he want to win, and if Doc Rivers is going to tell him what's best for the team to win, I don't think Harden will ever have an issue with that at all.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think most players can handle it. Yeah, I think you're right.
Ben's just too arrogant, and he has. But part of it is the organization's fault. So I think part of it's Ben's fault, and part of it's the organization's fault. It's just a huge gigantic mess.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I'm gonna get to some other Discord callers, man. Yo, thanks as always, my man.
Yes, sir. See you soon, brother.
All right, man. Later.
Clap.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to agree with I think Doc Rivers is not a player's coach at all. I don't get that vibe at all from him. I don't think he connects with players on a relationship, on a good relationship type of level. Just too many players in the history of playing under Doc Rivers have come out and said things recently, just Paul George being one of the main ones that I remember in LA, and now there's rumors that certain Sixers players aren't feeling Doc Rivers, and then you see what he does with the younger guys and absolutely shunning them and not giving them any time at all, and then throwing Paul Reed into a game with 20 seconds left when the game's already over. And I think he's a terrible development coach. I don't think he's very good player coach at all. That's just my opinion. And I don't think he's a cool ass dude by any stretch of the imagination. I think he's a dork. Actually, I think he's a goofball. I think he's a out of touch, old, half retired, arrogant guy that thinks he's smarter than everyone in the room, and really he's not. And really he's making like the worst decisions you could possibly make when he thinks he's making a better decision than anyone else would make. I don't like Doc Rivers at all. So I really don't. I've seen enough in 2 seasons. I'm not gonna let them beating the Charlotte Hornets by 30 let that change my opinion on Doc Rivers. I can't stand him. But we'll see. We'll see if he's humble enough to make some important adjustments in the playoffs, but we'll see. Shane in the Discord, one more time, Shane, you there? Shane, I don't know what you're doing with the Discord, Shane, but it's not working, man. It's not working. We got Brandmaster in the Discord. Brandmaster. People sleeping in the Discord. VR in the Discord.
Yo, what's going on, DJ?
What's up, man?
Nothing much. By the way, I just want to say this with a quick. Shane, if you go to your settings and go to the mic, it should give you an option to change your mic. I think that's the problem with his mic over there. But
thanks.
I didn't really watch it. No problem. But I didn't really watch the first half of this game, so I really only saw the second half, and for the most part, it was good. So I don't have that much on this game. But something I did want to bring up over the last other 2 games that I didn't get a chance to bring up is that I noticed we were doing a lot more off-ball screens and like backdoor screens, and I liked it a lot. There was a couple of times where we would get Joel and at the top of the key, and then we would like hand it off to like Harden or Maxey, and then we would post Joel in the middle, and then Thybulle would do like an off-ball screen to that person who gave the ball to Joel, and it was really working because we got a lot of open shots. And I just wanted to say I hope in the playoffs we like get to use that more, because I thought it was working a lot, and it was like it was something different that a lot of teams I feel like don't think we could do or use. So I just felt like that would be great for us.
Yeah, and isn't it crazy that like we as just regular everyday basketball fans know that that's something that's supposed to be happening? Like, where's the off-ball movement? Where's Plan B when Plan A doesn't work? And could that be like after a terrible loss against the Detroit Pistons? Could that be the rest of the coaching staff and maybe Doc Rivers actually listening to the rest of the coaching staff?
That's exactly what I thought it was, because it's like come on, like it's not that hard. Basketball at the end of the day, like just try to get the best shot possible. You don't have to do all this extra unnecessary trying to outplay the other coaches. You react to what's on the floor and you just make the right plays and right moves. And I feel like Doc Rivers just tries to overdo a lot of things, but that's how it seems like it's going to be. But another thing I wanted to say about this game also, or not about this game, but specifically Thybulle, is his game is, I personally think it is progressing. And I do honestly think, because we're talking about in the off season, I honestly don't think we should move him because I do think he is slowly starting to get better. And with the right time, I feel like coming into next season, if he just works on his finishing ability, which I think honestly could be super easy, he could honestly be a very, very good player for the further years and further down the line. So I just wanted to see your opinion on that, what you think about keeping Thybulle.
Is he up for probably a contract extension or what?
I actually don't know.
I think he might be, because I think it's his third year in the league or something.
Yeah. I
mean, if it's the end of his contract and teams are going to overpay for him, you can't match that. Just the perception other teams get from someone like Thybulle. They're like, hey, we got Matisse Thybulle, we got the defensive powerhouse, so I think if it's an extension opportunity, he's going to get more money somewhere else. But I don't think they should trade him. If you can keep him if he has another year on this cheap rookie contract, there's no reason to get rid of him.
But do you agree with the point that he's progressed a little bit, at least, especially compared to in the beginning of the season, which I know we didn't have James Harden, but his shot I feel like has gone up over these last couple of games that we've been watching.
Yeah, I would say just still wildly inconsistent. One game you get this, and then one game you'll get 2 points in 37 minutes. But it's just inconsistent. If over time it can become more consistent, then yeah, he can be a very valuable guy to have, for sure.
Okay, well, that's all I had. Thanks.
All right, my man. Thanks as always.
No problem.
Let's keep it moving. Shane, one more time. Shane in the Discord. Shane's still silent in the Discord. All right, Brandmaster in the Discord. Brand. Yo.
Hey Jay, what's good, man?
What's up, man?
I'm calling all the way from UK, so I'm actually really excited the fact that I'm on the phone with you right now.
Hey, that's cool, man. Shout out to the UK. Thanks for calling, man.
It's good. It's good. We've been watching the Sixers games recently, and I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest.
Yeah.
In the sense of what I'm seeing from Doc Rivers.
Hey, recent game, 3-game losing streak, all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe personally how he's not noticing the problems of how we don't have any athleticism on the team. Paul Reed is definitely a person that would be able to hold down Giannis, stop him to a certain extent, but you want to put Paul Millsap on him for 10 minutes? It made no sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely no sense.
That Detroit game made no sense, yeah.
And I just don't understand how he's not looking at his own ability and looking at what's going on with the team. Because obviously they've got to be in the locker rooms going through footage and things of that sort. And being okay, this person can replace this person. He's just not doing it. And I don't get it. I genuinely believe if we get bounced in the playoffs, second round, he's fired.
I would hope so. I mean, yeah, I would hope so. I completely agree with you. He doesn't try. He doesn't even take a chance doing anything else. It doesn't make sense. If a guy's getting absolutely torched for 5 straight minutes, what could go wrong by throwing another player in there to see if he could be better? He just won't do it.
Exactly. And I don't understand as well, right? Why wouldn't did Embiid actually guard him in that game at all? Because I know in the previous game that obviously it was what's his name, the power forward, Niang, that was guarding him
in the Detroit game.
Nah, not the Detroit game. The one before
I think
that.
Embiid was because Embiid said in his press conference, basically, we lost when I went to the bench and Giannis was still out there. You know, he wanted to continue to guard him and continue to slow him down. So, I think Embiid was guarding him a lot in that game, and I don't think Giannis was getting a whole lot of action. And then the Paul Millsap thing happened for 8 straight minutes, and that was it.
Exactly. But I remember you saying also as well about Doc Rivers having some problems in the locker room. And I feel like we've watched Doc Rivers for the past year defend Ben Simmons like there's no tomorrow, but now he's outing people by name.
Yeah, I think it's going downhill fast, and actually, it's like when I watch this game and how they played offensively, I really have a conspiracy right now that after that Detroit game, the rest of the coaching staff had a lot bigger say in what went on offensively for what they looked like in this game, and that could be Doc Rivers on his way out the door, to be honest, because when you start getting players that there's rumors that players don't like you, now you're really losing the house, and on top of like the stubbornness and doing all of the things after an entire year of babying Ben Simmons and arguing with reporters, and the guy's just not been good since he came here. It's been bad.
Exactly. And everyone was excited when he came here because obviously he was happy to get rid of Brett Brown, was looking for a new coach.
Yeah.
And to be honest, you take out Daryl Morey, if Doc Rivers was here by himself, it'd be horrible.
Oh, for sure. And if Doc didn't have the Sam Cassell and Dave Yeager and all those guys behind him either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly
agree,
that. Man. So it's I can't wait for a new coach, to be honest, because I do think we'll win a championship with a new coach. And I'm worried because the thing is as well with the whole Atlanta series, I don't understand why no one was fouling Capella.
Wait, say what about Capella?
In the Atlanta series, everything they was doing with the hacker Simmons, they didn't decide to do the hacker Capella either. When Capella shoots 45% from the free throw line.
Yeah, they should have. Yeah, you're right. They should have went back. They should have went back, fought fire with fire. All right, you want to get our guy like that? We'll get your guy like that. They should have done that. I agree.
Exactly, and it's like this guy is failing to use tactics and just going with the flow every game.
Yeah, he's interesting. He makes a game plan before the game, and that's it. He doesn't adjust.
Yeah,
he doesn't adjust to the game at all. Yeah.
Literally.
Hey, before you get out of here, just a question from the UK. How'd you become a Sixers fan?
To be honest, it's a bit of AI, and then I started watching Embiid and Ben, and I was like, this team has a lot of potential.
Nice,
and
man.
then when I started supporting them, Butler came there, and it was amazing. And then obviously this shot with Kawhi kind of upset me, and I was like, no, this team's going to do bits in the next few years. So that's how it all started.
Hey, cool, bro. That's awesome, man. Sixers are worldwide. Hey, thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime, DJ.
Bye, man. Later. Brand Master from the UK. Shout out to the UK, man. That's cool, man. That's cool. Sixers fans in the UK. Yeah, man, I don't know what else to say. Like, I just wanted to get on and talk about the positives and things that you can take away from this game, moving forward, and try to basically, hopefully this team can look like this version of themselves. I say it all the time. You get either this version or you get the Detroit Pistons version. So who knows? I'm not going to sit up here after beating the Charlotte Hornets and say all of the problems are fixed and we're good to go and Doc Rivers is a good coach now and on and on and on. We'll just have to see, what happens as the regular season winds down and what they look like in the playoffs. But to me, it's 100%. You know what you're getting from the starters for the most part. To me, whether this team goes far or gets bounced in the first or second round is 100% on the supporting cast and the bench unit and the depth. Danny Green, George Niang, what DeAndre Jordan played like in this game, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks, had like 4 alley-oop dunks from all of them from Tobias Harris, which was interesting. 10 points from Shake Milton off the bench. I would say actually Shake Milton might be the biggest X factor. I might have said that before, but when Harden, Maxey are out of the game, who's that third ball handler? And Shake Milton getting 26 minutes in this game and putting up 10 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. I still think his shot looks weird. I don't know what happened to his shot, but 2 for 5 from 3. Having a guy like Shake Milton come off the bench and give you 10 points and 5 assists is massive. So, if you're going with an 8 or 9 man rotation in the playoffs and it's Danny Green, George Niang, DeAndre Jordan and Shake Milton, and Shake steps up and gives you that, and maybe Danny Green's hitting a couple threes and George Niang's giving you 10 points, you can do some damage. But if you're getting the Detroit Pistons version where you get a goose egg from this guy, 2 points from this guy, a goose egg from this guy, who knows, man? Who knows? But it's Saturday. It's 4 o'clock. I got to DJ an event later, so I'm going to jump up out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. Run It Back Nation. Thank you to Manscaped.com for sponsoring the channel. Use the promo code NOINTRO for 20% off and free shipping on the Lawnmower 4.0. Get the performance package that has the Weed Whacker nose hair trimmer. What are you walking around here with long nose hairs sticking out, man? Come on, man. You show up to a place like that, you're getting no action showing up with nose hairs hanging out, man. Get your performance package at Manscaped.com. Promo code NOINTRO, 20% off and free shipping. Run It Back Nation, you're the best. I'll see you soon. Peace.